are witnessing, along with me, our first snow of the year. Not the purpose of the video, but been pretty mild other than our massive week where we had flood and earthquakes and levee breaks. It's been a mild fall and winter, and we were all set up to have a first snow-free year in something like 23 years, but Mother Nature says, hold my beer. How about a little push here, mid-late February, get you some snow on the way to school, where your job is to keep kids in their seat and learning. Good luck, Mr. Walgren. Thank you very little. But that's not the purpose of this video. I wanted to weigh in a little bit on the old how long can you collect versus why are we so worried about dying debate. And it's a good one, because I thought about both. And a lot of traffic today. I've seen like 10 cars. Like, what the heck? Come on, man. There's a big building here off to my right called Janicki Industries, and they build airplane parts. They ship all over the world. And so cars always slow down here to turn off. It's the biggest employer in my county, by the way. Cars always slow down here to turn off. And so after this, I'll be freed up. But it's a good debate, and I've actually thought about this before it became like a YouTube hot button issue. And if you're not following along at home, Chris from Missouri threw this out here as a question. You know, when do you start, or do you start at some point think about selling off your collection so your loved ones aren't left with those back pages, air quotes, burden of doing it or being stuck with a project? And then hobby president, and I'm guessing it's a 4-year term since we didn't have a new cycle here this last fall. Said, hey, why are we don't do this in other hobbies. There's nobody out there collecting Hummel figurines and hitting 62 saying, I need to sell these off so my family doesn't have to deal with them. And that's probably true. Or coins or whatever. I don't know. I only really collect baseball cards, so hard for me to say. But I don't know. I'm kind of guilty of both. I think to answer Chris's question first, actually not to answer that first, to answer the why do we think like that, I think it's because we know if we have a decent collection, they're assets, right? If I collected shiny rocks or beach shells, that's not an asset to my family. There's nothing that can be done with that after I'm gone that's going to help my widow with anything. But, you know, a nice Jackie Robinson run, can set her up for whatever. And maybe some of us, not me, because my collection's not like some of yours, have guilt that we should have spent that money somewhere else, or maybe not at all, and it should be in a nice high yield account somewhere doing something else. And maybe us pondering how we liquidate it when we're not here helps us expunge ourselves of that guilt. I know that's just a theory. I'm throwing that out there. I don't feel that way, but there's got to be a few of you. It's like, hey, maybe I should have bought these cards at all, but it's cool because I'm going to find a way to sell them somehow as a ghost, and you'll get the money then, sweet darling. But I thought about this, and about 4 years ago, I started thinking, I'm getting cards that I don't look at all the time, and I'm getting too much bulk. And if I could start consolidating this stuff into higher dollar/value cards that I'm going to appreciate as much or more, and would be easier for a loved one or a trusted friend to send to an auction house when I meet my maker, why wouldn't I do that? And John's going to say, well, because you have less cards to look at. That's true. For me, I only have so much time to look at cards, and if I have hobby time on a random, let's say Thursday night, I have 2 hours for hobby time, it's very unlikely I'm breaking out my 81 Donruss set and paging through it and saying, oh, there's my Razor Shines rookie card or what have you. I have the Tim Wallach. That's a nice centering on my Tim Wallach. You know, it's very unlikely that that's happening. Okay, I'm on YouTube. I'm on eBay. I'm staring at my wall. I'm trying to figure out how to reconfigure my displays so they make sense. I'm curating what I have. I'm trying to figure out how to get more money to buy more stuff I can stick up on a wall and look at. So that sort of answers the second question. Why get less cards at all? Why worry about tapering off at all? Because for me, I don't have 50, 60 hours a week, and even when I retire, if I do retire, I just don't see that happening. I don't see myself sitting around and just breaking out a monster box full of 90 Pro Set cards and paging through them. I don't see myself doing that. So that's one reason to limit yourself. As far as when, I don't know. You know, Chris is the one that made this video. He's only got 6 years on me. He's already thinking about dying. I don't know. That makes me nervous. I made a promise to my surviving brother that we'd both make it to 80. And that's a long time from now. That's 28 more years I gotta go. And I didn't realize when I shook his hand, I'm like, oh man, that's a long haul. I was thinking about wrapping this thing up a little quicker than that. But you gotta figure, I don't know. I think you wait until you're not enjoying it anymore, or you need the funds for something, or you need the funds for something. I've always thought, if I'm aware enough to be aware that I'm like starting to slip mentally, and not everyone has that gift, then is the time, so that there's no like room full of cards that my family doesn't know what to do with. And I think that's the other element, and I'm jumping all over. I didn't script any of this out. The other element is, so many of us have families like mine that just have no clue of what they're looking at. They would have no clue. I could show my family, 5 random cards, and they couldn't tell you. One could be the Mantle Tops 52, and one could be the Glenn Hubbard Snake card. One could be an Alvin Davis rookie. Let's throw in 2026 Cal Raleigh. And how about a 88 Donruss Darryl Boston? They would not be able to tell you which one is the most valuable. Like there's that big of a gap, right? And so I think we sort of worry. It's like, oh, they're going to give them away or whatever, and they're not going to get the value back. They're not going to be able to help themselves. And if our collection's worth something, we want to be able to help our families, and we want to be able to enjoy it while we can. But we just have to figure out when that is. And if I meet a sudden demise and I die with a room full of cards that I have now, that's hardly a tragedy. It's a blessing to think about that. I mean, how many people don't have that problem? I mean, that's good. We have these collections. They're awesome to have, and absolutely enjoy them now. But I think it's fair to think about how to turn an asset into something that blesses your family when you're not around. And I think it's fair to think about how many cards can you appreciate at one time or in 1 week, month, year, lifetime. For me, it's not 200, 300, 400,000. I don't need that many. If it's that many for you, I'm super happy for you. Good luck storing all that stuff, moving all that stuff when you need to go into assisted living or anything like that. But that's my final thoughts on that. I'm almost to work now. The flurries are coming and going. I think it's going to be that way all day. I don't know what's going on up here. Probably another tree or a landslide. You just never know around here. But let me know what you think below. Does my rambling make any sense? I'm sure you've seen like 20 other videos like this, because Lordy knows there's already plenty of them. But until next time, remember, we don't count subscribers, we count friends.